born and raised in Greenville. 6th grade, I moved to Anderson County and went to Pattersville High School. Got out, went to the workforce, and I was in a car wreck and it paralyzed me from T3 through T8, broke my sternum, some ribs, and lacerated a spleen. Physically, they motivate me. Mentally, I look forward to coming seeing them. They've got a really good team with the physical and occupational and the recreational therapy that Roger C has is really good. My injury happened in Anderson County, so they brought me over here to Greenville Memorial. And then after I was discharged from the ICU, I went over to Roger C inpatient therapy and was there for what, like 28 days or something like that maybe, I don't know. I guess one of the main things that I focused on while I was in inpatient was my balance, because I just didn't have any. Like 3 months after I was discharged from Roger C inpatient, I started doing outpatient therapy down here on the first floor with Kaylin, and that's when I got introduced to a couple of new exercises for my back and shoulders, because when I was in inpatient, I had a lot of problems with my left shoulder, so we didn't really do too much other than with the rickshaw. They've introduced me to the standing frame, which is really good because I'm developing drop foot and I don't want osteoporosis in the bones from not being weight bearing. And then the exoskeleton is really interesting in my opinion, to be able to get up and walk. From day one, they design a plan around you and your injuries and what your goals are. So it varies from person to person on the physical and occupational therapy. Now with recreational therapy, there's a lot of sporting events that help you get back out in society and keep you active. There's pickleball, biking, sled hockey, swimming, bow shooting, golfing, all kinds of events you can get out and do and be active. Well, initially, like if you were to say just like for physical therapy, when I go in there, I explain to her like I have not the best of balance because of my high level of injury. So I wanted to start going to the gym, and I was worried about the weight bench, like being able to transfer and stay on it, because I didn't want to look like a goofball and fall on the floor. So with that, the physical therapy part, so you go in there with the certain goals that you have, and then they're gonna suggest some, like you'll work together and come up with the goals. I will tell you this, that there's nothing that I've gone to do that I couldn't accomplish. It just took a lot of thinking of how I was gonna do it, and then how many times it took before I succeeded. So simply just vacuuming. It took me a week to be able to consistently like push the vacuum. That's the hardest thing I've found, you know, because you have to roll with one hand and balance off and push off the vacuum while you're pushing it back and forth, and that's probably one of the most challenging things I've attempted to do, which I think anybody who's in a wheelchair at some point, hopefully sooner than earlier, realizes you have to stop, you have to take a couple of breaths, and you've got to think a couple of steps ahead. Because for instance, this morning, I didn't set my clothes out like I do at night, so I had to get back up out of bed and get my clothes, get back in bed, and then dress myself. So, you know, just simple things like that.